Well, I'm very pleased to announce that I believe this has been resolved in a positive way. As you know, over the past 5 weeks or so, we have held 4 evening meetings of about 3 hours each with representatives from Christ Chapel Church and the Neighborhood Association of Arlington Heights, which includes the side-by-side group that were very active out there over the past months. Over this period of time, I must really commend the members of this group, which the meetings began with some venting and very soon moved forward into positive approach to exactly what did each group feel were paramount issues that needed to be maintained in the discussion, and which elements were not that important until we got down to the primary issues for the neighborhood, which were essentially the outside parameters around the area beyond which the church would make a commitment not to grow in terms of acquisition of property, and right across from the current sanctuary area on Pershing, an area which had been in the plans of the church to put surface parking, and in the area in which they already own 3 houses and a vacant lot. The church listened intently and came to the conclusion that some of the things were not necessary, and expressed very warmly that the church was quite concerned about its image, which was negative rather than positive in an area that they wanted to support. And so in the 3rd and 4th meetings, the church came back and has shown a significant footprint change in their sanctuary plans, which involve pulling back their offices and children's school area and replacing it south of the main sanctuary plan on Birchman, which is an area they have in parking space now. They are making a commitment in an MOU that they will not acquire property to the west of them from Owasso West and to the north of the alley and Pershing for 23 years. They will not attempt to purchase additional property across Pershing from the sanctuary for 5 years, actually 7 years, and they will not move forward in terms of any request to change the zoning from residential to a parking lot until after they have constructed a parking garage on the southmost property that they have near I-30, away from all of the residences. This has been a major effort. Again, I commend the attitudes and the work and the give and take of this group. You may recall that when this came to us from the Zoning Commission in February, the Neighborhood Association of Arlington Heights had voted against it. And this is one of the reasons that we wanted to get together to see if we could work out a mediation. I'm pleased to report last night at an 1.5-hour meeting of the Arlington Heights Neighborhood Association, after the program was presented, the vote to support this approach was 49-1. So today, you will be asked, we will have representatives from the church and from the neighborhood to give you a brief presentation of what this is, just for your general interest. And I would like to vote today to send it back to zoning, because there will be some site plan changes, and there will be some zoning changes. But you'll be voting to send something back which now has the unified support of the church, of the neighborhood association, and represents some significant changes in terms of the original planning, which I think will release many pressures on the neighborhood, which have maximum concern, and still allow the church to accomplish what they wish to do for their congregation. So, again, I applaud the work of the people sticking to it and coming up with a positive solution that has unified support.
Questions for Mr. Stevenson? Mr. Silcox, sure.
No, I don't have a question. As much as John has praised those which they deserve all that praise, but Mr. Stevenson, I think you deserve some too. You've been very patient working with both sides on this, and it's gone on for a number of weeks. And I think, I personally like to say that I offer great congratulations to you for the fact that you've been able to work with them and keep, hopefully, the tempers down and on the right trail, and finally have been there with them while a consensus was reached. So I hope this council will join me in saying that we too think you have done a great job with this and applaud you for helping bring it to fruition.
The number on the back is 76107.
That's good. You did a great job, John.
Clyde.
I just wanted to echo what Chuck said. I think that it represents a real commitment on your part, Mr. Stevenson, to stay with it until it was resolved. And I'm sure the neighbors and the church both appreciate your effort.
His comments, but the thing that's neat about this is what they worked out. This is what they came to, and that's what they're supporting. And that's, you know, even though there were a couple of disenchanted folks at the meeting last night, 49-1 is pretty impressive, and they resolved their problems, which is democracy in action.
Well, they need a good referee or Solomon like yourself to be there, so thank you for your work. Any other questions or comments? Next item on the agenda is the DFW proposed bond offerings. With us this morning